So I'm gonna get a little serious in this video. I don't usually like to get this serious, but I feel it's necessary to address the toxic players that are in our Overwatch community. Today, I'll show you some examples of some toxic players in the community, and I'm going to dismantle these toxic people, and I'm going to show you why they are so stupid, and I'm going to show you the reasons why you should also feel that they are stupid. On top of that, I'm going to show you why it's not badass to be a huge jerk to people online, and I'm going to talk about how being positive is actually not a bad thing after all. So today, let's talk about it. I want to preface this video just by saying this has nothing to do with gender. However, all the examples that I'll be using in my video today are from people who are hating on a girl streamer. So a lot of the insults that are being thrown around here are directed towards her and do have to do with her gender. However, I would like to avoid all of that completely and just focus on the toxic people here and the examples of how disgusting and toxic they are. And once again, this really has nothing to do with gender. However, these people making fun of her are using her gender as an insult, which does add a level of disgustingness on top of already how toxic and gross they already are. So what I'm going to do for you is I'm going to play a clip of somebody being disgustingly toxic, and I'm going to try and dismantle why what they did was so stupid and why they look like a fool. So here goes the first clip.
Unfortunate.
Yeah, I think Mercy's not working out for you, dumb. Learn how to fucking play a proper character. 45 hours and you still suck. I guess girls just suck at video games in general, you stupid.
So here is a classic toxic Overwatch player move that you just witnessed right before your very eyes. This guy loses a competitive game with his team. They all lost. All of them lost. But to this guy, losing is something unbelievable. He's so mad inside that he needs to vent out that frustration in a horribly negative way. So the first thing he does is, as soon as he sees that defeat screen, he calls out the girl on his team, thinking maybe she's the weak point on the team. Perhaps that's why we lost. So what he does is he instantly insults her, and his ego has blinded him. He cannot accept the possibility that he maybe was the reason they lost, that somehow his performance contributed to that loss. That thought does not even cross his mind because his ego is so inflated. He instantly attacks another person without even having the possibility of self-reflection. He just throws blame on somebody else to make himself feel better. This is a classic bully move, and it really makes you look like a fool who has no concept of reality. You're just living in a bubble where you are the best. That is not how the real world works, and if you find yourself making comments like this, I'm sorry to say, but you're a very toxic person who does not live in the same world as everybody else. You need to escape your bubble and learn how to actually interact.
This is the reason why girls should not do anything other than be a woman. Do not play Overwatch, you fat, ugly, pimple-ridden face.
Once again, a perfect example of a guy being blinded by his own ego, unable to accept the fact that, maybe I had something to do with my team's defeat. His first thought is to turn to a chick where he sees a potential source of weakness, and he says some pretty horrible and unrealistic things. He is basically not living in reality for a moment. He's so mad that he makes up a fake world in his own mind where this girl has somehow lost the game for the entire team, which if he lived in reality, he would realize nothing of the sort happened. He's just really mad and can't think straight. So once again, an example of a toxic player being stupid and not actually living in reality. There seems to be this weird idea that has crept into people's heads that makes them toxic. It is that being kind and a positive person is somehow a bad thing. That in order to appear tough and cool and for people to like you, you have to say really negative things about people and you have to bring them down. Now, in the real world, where actual stuff happens outside of video games, that is far from the truth. Being a positive, helpful person with a nice impact on people's lives is actually a great thing, and you will have a much more rich and full life because of it. However, these people who are young, still in school, young males with their hormones raging, are unable to fully comprehend what they are doing. and because of that, they become toxic players. And unfortunately, that is just the world that we live in. However, by pointing out the things that I have pointed out in this video, you can help other people by being positive, making a big impact, and not letting your anger get the better of you. It's good to be angry and use it to strive and push yourself for better things. But if you're angry and you start calling people out unnecessarily, you're going to cause a very uncomfortable environment for a lot of people, and you're going to overall be contributing to the toxicity that we are currently experiencing in Overwatch. So if you want to have a better Overwatch community, please start with yourself. Work on yourself first, then try helping out some other people, because there are a lot of really cruel and mean people out there who can be much better off if they spread positivity and they're not afraid to do so. There is nothing wrong with being a positive and kind person, and more people need to learn and realize this truth, because currently there are too many people in our Overwatch community that are afraid of being kind and feel they need to prove what a badass they are by being negative and hurtful to other people. That is not badass. You're an asshole. And once again, I have to apologize. This video is very, very serious. Normally, I like to keep my news videos informative and fun, but when I saw this earlier today, I really needed to react and let you guys know what the proper way to handle these situations may have really been, so that in the future, we can have less people like this in our community overall. Thank you so much for watching the video today. I just wanted to briefly cover this stuff. If you see people in your game talking like this, call them out. Call them out for what they're really doing, being insecure with themselves, letting their anger override their reasoning, and just being horrible negative people overall. Let your positivity shine out and outshine all that negativity. That's all for today though. Thank you so much for watching and have a wonderful day.
Like,